Welcome to the Zen Way. I am your guide on a journey that will transform the way you work and the way you experience each moment at your desk. Over the next 7 days, you will learn how simple shifts in awareness can dissolve the fog of stress and sharpen your focus. Imagine moving through your tasks with the ease of a leaf carried on a gentle stream, unruffled by the currents of deadlines and distractions. This is the power of Buddhist mindfulness. As you listen now, allow your shoulders to soften and your breathing to settle. You will need nothing more than a few silent moments and an open mind. Each day's to begin, find a comfortable seat. Choose a spot where you neither feel cramped nor exposed. Sit upright yet relaxed. Ground your feet on the floor. Let your hands rest gently on your lap or on the desk. When you are ready, gently close your eyes or soften your gaze toward a point on the floor a few feet ahead. Allow the world around you to settle and the voice of the Zen Way to guide. In this introduction, you have set the stage for a profound exploration of presence. Tomorrow, we will anchor in the breath and learn how attention to the most basic process of life can become your Part 1, Day 1, Awareness of Breath. Today, our focus is the breath, the ever-present thread weaving through every moment. You may never have stopped to consider how this simple process carries you from one moment to the next. Yet in that very simplicity lies its profound power. Take a moment now to settle into your seat. Align your spine, strong yet relaxed, as if a string gently pulls your head toward the ceiling. Let shoulders soften and hands rest lightly in your lap. Allow your feet to make full contact with the floor, feeling grounded and supported by the earth beneath you. As you rest here, bring awareness to the tip of your nostrils. Notice subtle currents of air moving in and out. Feel the coolness on the in-breath and the faint warmth of the exhale. Do not try to change your breath. Resist the urge to deepen or slow it. Cultivate gentle observation, a quiet attentiveness to its natural rhythm. Each inhalation invites you to arrive fully now. Each exhalation offers release of tension. Thoughts may stir, a to-do list scrolling behind your eyes. A tight knot may form at the base of your neck. When this happens, note: thinking, planning, worrying. In naming, you create a space between you and the thought. Then return to the breath, your anchor in this moment. Observe how your chest or belly rises and falls. Notice if breath feels shallow or tension-tugged. Allow constricted areas to draw your attention kindly. Imagine breathing into those tight places. On the in-breath, invite expansion. On the out-breaths, soften and melt away stress. After a few minutes, notice subtle shifts. The mind slows its racing pace. You sense a gentle spaciousness within and around you. In that space resides your capacity for clarity and creativity. New ideas can surface, unburdened by distraction. Consider carrying this clarity into your next task. Picture drafting an email with full attention. Notice sensation of fingertips on keys. Hear subtle clicks of the keyboard. Sense if your posture needs adjustment. Transform hurried chores into mindful moments. Or imagine pausing at a meeting door. Take 3 conscious breaths to ground yourself. Soften shoulders and release lingering tension. Enter with presence. Listen deeply. Respond with calm intelligence. Keep a journal by your side if you wish. After each session, write what you observed. What thoughts or emotions surfaced? Did you discover new areas of tension? How did the breath change your mind's quality? These reflections serve as guideposts on your journey. As minutes pass, breath becomes more subtle. Awareness envelopes your entire torso. Notice chest rise, diaphragm movement, softening shoulders. Rest in this field of calm awareness. When the bell signals the end, resist opening eyes too quickly. Remain seated for a few extra breaths, sensing shifted energy. Feel gratitude for choosing well-being. Day 1 is not about perfection. It is about returning again and again to the breath. By cultivating this practice, you plant seeds of resilience. The breath is always there to guide you back. Tomorrow, we will explore how to scan the body for tension. Until then, rest in the simple power of the breath. Carry this awareness into every task and interaction. Part 2, Day 2, Body Scan in the Office. Begin by settling into your workspace as you did yesterday. Allow your spine to find its natural length. Rest your hands on the desktop or in your lap. Gently close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take 3 conscious breaths, arriving fully in this moment. Allow the memory of yesterday's breath practice to guide you inward. Feel the subtle stillness that arose when you returned again and again to each inhalation and exhalation. Today we will expand that awareness beyond the breath to inhabit your entire body. Bring your attention first to the soles of your feet. Notice any points of contact with the floor. Feel the firmness of the ground beneath you. Perhaps you sense coolness on one foot or warmth on the other. There may be areas of tingling or numbness. Acknowledge these sensations without judgment. Simply observe the rich tapestry of feeling at the base of your posture. Allow a gentle curiosity to arise. With each in-breath, imagine drawing fresh awareness into your feet. With each out-breath, imagine releasing any hardness or tension you discover there. Slowly shift your attention upward to the ankles and calves. Notice the texture of muscles softening against your chair. You might feel a light stretch where tendons meet bone, or you may find areas of tightness you had never noticed. Breathe into those places. Invite them to soften as you exhale. Observe how the body responds when you make space for sensation rather than fighting or ignoring it. Bring awareness now to your knees and thighs. In the office, these areas often bear the weight of our posture for hours on end. Notice any pressure points where the chair meets your legs. Explore any dull aches that signal habitual tension. Allow your breath to flow into these regions, bathing them in the warmth of your attention. As you exhale, imagine those muscles releasing like the unfolding of flower petals. Move upward to your hips and pelvis. In the modern workplace, this area can hold a surprising amount of stress. Perhaps your hip flexors feel tight from sitting, or your lower back feels compressed. Again, breathe gently into these sensations. Let each breath offer a moment of relief. You may imagine the breath traveling along your femur into your sacrum. Invite a subtle shift in posture until you feel an ease emerging in your core. Shift your focus to the abdomen and lower back. Notice the rise of the belly as you inhale and its fall as you exhale. Feel the support of the chair against your sacrum. Notice the gentle tension of muscles stabilizing your spine. If you encounter any resistance or soreness, imagine sending each inhalation like a wave to soften the area. With every out-breath, allow that softness to sink deeper. Allow your attention to travel now to your chest and upper back. Sense the expansion of the rib cage with each breath. Notice any constriction where you carry stress from unfinished tasks or heavy responsibilities. Perhaps you feel a tight band across your shoulder blades or heat around your heart center. With each inhalation, invite your breath to open those spaces. With each exhalation, release the weight that you have been carrying. Bring your awareness to your shoulders and arms. Allow the shoulders to drop away from your ears. Feel the weight of your arms lengthening along the sides of your body, or resting on the desktop. Notice any grip in the hands or tension around the wrists. Breathe into these areas as though your breath is a gentle wind, sweeping away the remnants of tension. Finally, guide your attention to your neck, jaw, and face. Many of us hold tension here without even realizing it. Feel the weight of your head balanced atop your spine. Notice any tightness at the nape of your neck or clenching in your jaw. Allow your lips to part slightly and your tongue to rest loosely in your mouth. Breathe with kindness into each facial muscle, releasing the habitual habit of holding that you discovered. As you complete this full body scan, allow your awareness to rest in the breath once more. Feel the rhythm of your body as a whole. Notice the interplay of tension and release, the ebb and flow of sensation. Recognize that this body is your home, carrying you through each meeting, each task, each challenge. Treat it with the respect and gratitude it deserves. Before you return to the tasks of your workday, take a moment to journal. Reflect on what you discovered. Which areas surprised you with their tightness? Where did you feel unexpected spaciousness? How might you incorporate mini body scans into moments of transition between tasks or before high-pressure calls? As you step away from this practice, carry with you the knowledge. The body can be both a map of tension and a gateway to calm. Whenever you notice stress arising, you can pause. Bring gentle attention to the area of discomfort and allow the breath to guide you back to ease. This simple commitment to awareness will begin to transform not only your posture, but your entire relationship with work. Tomorrow, we will explore mindful listening and speech in the workplace, discovering how bringing presence to every conversation can deepen connection and reduce reactivity. Until then, remember that your body is always speaking. Invite your attention to listen. Part 3, Day 3, Mindful Listening and Speech. Today we turn our attention outward while remaining firmly rooted in awareness. The quality of our presence in conversation shapes every aspect of our work life. When we speak with full attention and listen with genuine curiosity, we build bridges of understanding and dissolve the habitual reactivity that fuels stress. This third day will guide you to bring the clarity you cultivated with breath and body into every interaction. As you settle into your seat or stand at your desk, pause for 3 conscious breaths. With each inhalation, invite a sense of openness. With each exhalation, release any urgency or agenda you carry. Allow your shoulders to soften. Soften the space around your ears so you can hear the spaces between words. This is the canvas on which true listening unfolds. Imagine you are about to join a meeting or pick up the phone. Before you speak, take a moment to set an intention. Silently note, I intend to listen deeply and speak from clarity and kindness. This simple act aligns body, speech, and mind with mindful communication. As the other person begins to speak, allow your full attention to rest on their voice. Notice the tone, the cadence, the volume. Listen not only to content, but to the emotional texture beneath each word. Is there hesitation or certainty, frustration or curiosity? Instead of planning your response, you remain curious. You allow silence to be part of the dialogue. When there is a pause, you resist the urge to fill it. In the space between words, new insights can arise. When it is your turn to speak, place your hand lightly over your heart, or rest both hands on the desk and feel their warmth. Speak slowly and clearly, choosing each word with care. Notice how your voice resonates in your chest and throat. Allow the natural rhythm of your breath to guide your pace. As you speak, remain aware of your listener. Make eye contact or soften your gaze toward the screen. Let your presence reassure them they are truly seen and heard. There'll be moments when you feel triggered by a comment. In those moments, pause. Breathe. Label the experience silently as irritation or defensiveness. Notice where in your body the feeling arises. Perhaps you feel heat in your chest or a clench in your jaw. Allow that sensation to be there without judgment. Continue from that place of awareness rather than reacting. This is mindful speech and listening. Transformation through presence. To deepen this practice, find a colleague and agree to a 5-minute exercise. One person speaks for 2 minutes about a work challenge. The other listens without interrupting. The listener notices internal reactions and returns to open awareness. After 2 minutes, the listener paraphrases content and tone, then roles reverse. This builds empathy and trains the mind to hold space without judgment. If that's not possible, practice with yourself. Record a brief reflection on the day's challenges. Speak into a phone for 2 minutes. Then play it back and listen. Notice your tone, pace, volume, and emotional undercurrents. Observe your internal responses as you listen. Allow this self-dialogue to reveal habits you can refine. Throughout the day, bring mindful pauses into your routine. Before replying to an email, ask, "Am I responding from calm clarity or reactivity?" Before raising your voice in a meeting, recognize the impulse and pause. Each pause is a momentary freedom. In that freedom, choose speech that heals rather than wounds. Choose speech that connects rather than isolates. At the end of your workday, set aside 5 minutes to journal about mindful listening and speech. Reflect on moments when you felt truly present and when you drifted into habit. What did you learn about how you communicate under stress? How did your awareness shift the quality of your interactions? These insights are invaluable guideposts on the path of transformation. Tomorrow we will explore working with difficult emotions, transforming resistance into resilience. Until then, carry the gift of presence into every conversation. Part 4. Day 4. Working with difficult emotions. Today we turn inward to meet the currents of emotion that pull us off balance. Frustration over a stalled project, anxiety about deadlines, irritation with a colleague. These feelings arise so naturally that we assume they are obstacles to push aside. Buddhist mindfulness invites us to regard difficult emotions not as enemies but as messengers. They point the way to deeper understanding and freedom. Begin by settling into your posture. Bring 3 conscious breaths, feeling the rise and fall of your chest. Let your shoulders release any tension from today or yesterday. Allow your hands to rest gently with palms turned upward. This open gesture expresses willingness to meet whatever arises. Now bring to mind a work situation that triggers strong feelings. It might be a recurring disagreement, a looming deadline, or your inner critic. As you hold that situation in awareness, notice the first wave of emotion. See if you can sense where in your body this emotion lands. Does your breathing tighten? Do you feel heat behind the eyes? Is there heaviness in the chest or a hollow in the stomach? Without pushing the sensation away, offer it your full attention. Name it silently: anger, worry, shame, fear, impatience. Notice that labeling creates a subtle shift. You are not the emotion. You are the one observing the emotion. This space between observer and experience is the birthplace of freedom. Invite your breath to be with the emotion. As you inhale, imagine drawing fresh air into that tightness. Allow the in-breath to illuminate the feeling. Bathe it in the warmth of gentle attention. As you exhale, imagine offering kindness to the emotion. Soften its edges, letting it expand and release its charge. Be aware that emotions change. They arrive, peak, and then subside. Your role is simply to stay present, curious, and open. If you find yourself resisting or numbing out, notice that impulse. Label it avoidance or resistance. Guide your attention back to the original feeling. Now allow the experience to deepen. Notice any narrative that accompanies the emotion. Observe how thinking and feeling interplay. See the mind constructing scenarios of blame or fear. Yet beneath these narratives, the raw sensation calls to be known. In that knowing, there is no need for story. After a few moments, bring your attention back to the breath. Let the emotion rest in the mind's open sky like a passing cloud. Notice how body and mind feel different compared to the start. You may sense the emotion has lost intensity or tension has softened. To ground this practice in daily life, choose one trigger for today. Before that meeting or email, take one conscious breath. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Bring naming and breathing to that moment. Notice how a brief pause transforms reactivity into response and conflict into clarity. At day's end, pause again to reflect. Perhaps you journal about how this practice changed your experience. Did anger arrive less often or with less force? Did you find it easier to return to calm? How did meeting discomfort with kindness affect interactions? By welcoming difficult emotions with mindful presence, you build resilience. No matter what arises, greet emotions with curiosity and compassion. Your work life becomes a laboratory for understanding the human heart. Tomorrow, we will discover mindful walking meditation beside your desk. Until then, remember every emotion carries the seed of insight. Offer each emotion respect and attention. Part 5. Day 5. Walking meditation at your desk. Begin by standing beside your workspace. Let your feet find a natural distance apart so you feel steady and balanced. Allow your shoulders to soften. Let your arms hang loosely by your sides or rest gently against your thighs. Before you take your first step, pause and take 3 conscious breaths. With each inhalation, invite a sense of welcome into your body. With each exhalation, release any lingering tension from sitting too long or from tasks you have been carrying. As you settle into this moment, you bring your full presence into the act of walking. On your next breath, shift your weight fully onto one foot. Notice the sensations in that foot as it bears your weight. Feel the connection between the sole and the floor. Then transfer your weight to the other foot. Observe how that shift changes the feeling beneath your toes and heel. Allow these subtle sensations to become your primary focus. When you are ready, take a small step forward. No hurry, no particular destination. Each movement of lifting, moving, and placing the foot becomes a portal into the present moment. Notice how your heel lifts first, then your toes release last. Feel the muscles of your calf engage as you lift. Notice the gentle contraction of your foot as you place it back on the ground. As you roll through the step, notice any variations in pressure. Perhaps one step feels heavier than the next. Or maybe you notice a smooth glide across the floor. Each shift and each placement is an opportunity to tune in to the living body. With each step, allow your breathing to synchronize with your gait. Perhaps you inhale for 2 steps and exhale for 2. You might find a rhythm that feels natural and sustainable. If the mind begins to wander to upcoming meetings or the draft you still need to finish, simply note the distraction as thinking. Guide your focus back to the sensation of walking. The simple act of returning again and again to sensation builds a bridge between movement and awareness. Once you have found your pace, continue walking mindfully for 5 minutes. You may choose to circle around your desk or walk in a straight line if space allows. Your focus is not on speed or distance. It is on the quality of presence you bring to each step. Notice how the simple act of walking becomes deeply rich when you attend to it fully. As you progress, you may begin to feel a gentle alertness in your legs and a lightness in your mind. The body's movement uplifts the nervous system while mindfulness steadies the attention. In this synergy lies the power to refresh your energy in the middle of a demanding day. When the time is up, pause again. Stand still and bring your hands together at your heart, or let them rest by your sides. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take 3 deep breaths and feel how your body and mind have shifted. Perhaps you feel more awake, more grounded, more receptive. Perhaps the tightness in your hips has softened. Perhaps your thoughts feel more spacious. To integrate this practice into your workday, choose moments of natural transition to walk mindfully. Move between your desk and the coffee machine, or between your workspace and the printer. Each step becomes a chance to return to yourself rather than drifting into autopilot. At the end of your day, spend a few minutes journaling about the experience. Reflect on how the simple act of walking with awareness changed your energy, your mood, or your posture. Notice if tasks that felt heavy before now feel lighter. Recognize that every day you expand the territory of mindfulness from the cushion to every inch of movement. Tomorrow we will turn our attention to the heart as we cultivate loving kindness in the workplace. Until then, carry the wisdom of each step with you into every corner of your work life. Part 6, Day 6, Cultivating Loving Kindness at Work. Begin by returning to your seat with the same posture that has carried you through each practice. Let your spine be upright yet relaxed. Bring your hands to rest lightly at your heart. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take 3 full breaths, inviting a sense of warmth and openness with each inhalation. Release any lingering tension on each exhale. Today you will turn the focus of your awareness from self to others and back again. This happens through the practice of loving kindness. Loving kindness, or metta, is a core Buddhist practice that awakens the heart. It reminds us that beneath all our roles, colleague, manager, team member, we share the same capacity for joy and the same vulnerability to suffering. By directing goodwill first, toward ourselves, and then outward in ever-widening circles, we cultivate resilience, empathy, and a deep sense of connection that transforms workplace atmosphere. To begin, silently repeat phrases of loving kindness toward yourself. You might choose words such as, "May I be safe," "May I be happy," "May I be healthy," "May I live with ease." As you speak these intentions in your mind, feel the warmth gathering in your chest. Notice any resistance that arises and gently return to the phrases. Allow them to soften your self-judgment and open your heart. Once you have felt the impact of loving yourself, bring to mind a colleague with whom you feel ease. Picture them clearly. Repeat the same phrases, substituting their name or thinking, "May you be safe," and "May you live with ease." Notice how expanding goodwill to another creates a ripple of ease in your heart and mind. Next, imagine the wider circle of your immediate team. See each person's face or sense the group as a living field of activity. Offer your heartfelt wishes. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. Allow the intention to permeate the space where emails fly and deadlines loom. Feel how the collective energy of kindness begins to shift your workspace atmosphere. Now turn your attention to someone with whom you've experienced difficulty at work. Without forcing false warmth, simply offer them the basic wish of well-being. Acknowledge that beneath the friction lies a person seeking safety and happiness. As you breathe these intentions toward them, notice any softening in your chest or a release of tension in your shoulders. This practice does not excuse injustice or eliminate boundaries. It liberates you from the burden of resentment and opens your mind to clearer judgment. Finally, cast your goodwill over the entire office building and beyond. Envision the shared air and the hum of technology weaving through lives far beyond your screen. Repeat your intentions broadly and feel your attention expand until it encompasses both your cubicle and the farthest reaches of the world. Sit in this field of loving kindness for a few moments. Allow the warmth and connection to settle into your nervous system. Notice how the simple act of wishing others well can soften a stressful project or email. This heart cultivation is as vital to your work performance as any technical skill. Before returning to your tasks, take a moment to reflect in your journal. Describe how the practice affected your mood and your sense of connection with colleagues. Did you notice any shift in your willingness to collaborate? Did moments of impatience soften as you carried this goodwill into your interactions? Record any insights about how loving kindness can become a daily support rather than a rare retreat. As you move through today's meetings and emails, pause whenever you feel tension arising. Take one breath and send a brief wish of well-being to yourself or another. This micro-practice will anchor the deeper cultivation of loving kindness in your workday. Tomorrow, you will integrate all you have learned into a fluid daily routine that weaves breath, body, speech, emotion, movement, and compassion into every moment. For now, rest in the loving field you have created and carry this new ease into whatever lies ahead. Part 7, Day 7, Integrating Practice into Daily Flow. Today marks the culmination of your 7-day challenge. All the practices you have explored, breath, awareness, body scanning, mindful listening, working with difficult emotions, mindful walking, and loving kindness, now come together. They form a seamless flow you can carry into every moment of your work life. Begin, as always, by arriving in stillness. Sit or stand with an upright yet relaxed posture. Take 3 full breaths, feeling each inhalation and each exhalation. Allow your mind to recall the anchor of the breath from day 1. Recall the subtle wisdom of the body from day 2, and the art of conscious communication from day 3. Recall the compassionate alchemy of day 4 and embodied energy of day 5. Recall the heart-opening warmth of day 6. Today, you weave these strands into a living tapestry of presence. Imagine a typical workday with tasks, emails, meetings, and deadlines. Instead of autopilot, you pause at each transition. Before opening an email, you take a conscious breath. Before entering a meeting, you offer a silent wish of well-being. Before switching tasks, you scan your body for tension and release it. With each conversation, you practice deep listening and compassionate speech. At your desk, create cues to remind you to return to presence. A small stone on your keyboard prompts 3 breaths before each document. A stretch of the arms overhead invites the release of stress. Standing to refill water becomes a walking meditation. When frustration rises, pause, place a hand on your heart, and name the feeling. Breathe into it, softening resistance through kind attention. Integration means honoring energy and rest rhythms. Do not push through fatigue without noticing. Attend to signals, a shallow breath, heaviness in the eyes, tension in the shoulders. Respond with micro breaks, a 2-minute breath check for clarity. A 1-minute seated body scan restores ease. A quick, loving kindness phrase refreshes your empathy. These small moments prevent burnout and sustain creativity. To make this durable, establish a morning and evening ritual. In the morning, sit for 2 minutes of breath awareness and set an intention. In the evening, close with a brief body scan and phrases of gratitude. Journal one insight about how mindfulness influenced your work. This ritual adds meaning and strengthens mindful living patterns. As you practice integrated flow, notice shifts in your experience. Notice how your presence stabilizes colleagues. Tense conversations soften and creative ideas emerge. Tasks that once felt onerous gain clarity and precision. The office transforms from a source of stress into a field of possibility. Today's final exercise is a guided imagery of a work scenario. Close your eyes and picture arriving at your desk in the morning. Feel the seat beneath you and breathe. Before opening your computer, take 3 conscious breaths. Open your inbox and notice a deadline moved forward. Notice your heartbeat quicken. You pause, place a hand on your chest, and breathe into the tightness. You remember the spaciousness of day 1. You send yourself a brief message, "May I meet this challenge with calm clarity." You pick up the phone for a check-in with a colleague. You listen deeply, resisting the urge to multitask. Your full attention transforms the exchange into true connection. Throughout the day, you practice walking meditation, micro body scans, and silent kindness. You return to the breath whenever the mind wanders. When the imagery ends, open your eyes and rest in knowing each moment offers presence. The practices are now your companions in turbulent work life. This completes day 7. In part 8, we will draw these elements together and set a sustainable plan. Until then, celebrate your new patterns and carry this mindfulness forward. Conclusion and next steps. Today you stand at the threshold of a new way of working, one in which each moment becomes an opportunity to awaken your fullest potential. You have journeyed from anchoring in the breath to opening your heart through loving kindness, from observing the body's signals to transforming difficult emotions, from walking with presence to speaking and listening with clarity. Now, it is time to weave these strands into an ongoing practice that will support you long after this video ends. Begin by taking a moment to rest in stillness. Feel the rhythms of your breath. Notice how your body has shifted through these 7 days. Allow gratitude to rise for the commitment you made to yourself. This simple act of acknowledgement carries profound power. It reminds you that transformation comes not from grand gestures, but from the willingness to return over and over again to the same breath, the same body, the same heartbeat of presence. To sustain this practice, create a personalized daily ritual. In the morning, sit with awareness of breath for 2 to 3 minutes. On arriving at your desk, take 3 conscious breaths before you begin work. Schedule to micro breaks each hour. A brief body scan or a moment to send loving kindness to yourself and a colleague. Use transitions between meetings as invitations to walk mindfully, even if only for a few steps. Before responding to challenging emails, pause. Note any emotions, breathe into them, and choose your words from a place of calm clarity. keep a simple journal or digital log. At the end of each day, note one insight, one success, and one area for gentle improvement. Perhaps you discovered that a 2-minute body scan lifted the tightness in your shoulders. Perhaps you noticed how pausing to listen transformed a tense conversation. Perhaps you found that naming anxiety before a meeting allowed you to speak with greater confidence. These reflections forge the neural pathways of mindful living and keep your momentum alive. Consider finding an accountability partner. Share your intention with a colleague or friend and agree to check in once a week. Offer each other support and encouragement. Celebrate the moments when mindfulness opened a door to creativity or eased a moment of strain. When challenges arise, remind each other that the practice consists not in perfection, but in returning again and again to presence. Over time, you may wish to deepen your practice through guided courses, group sittings, or silent retreats. Yet the greatest resource remains always at hand: your own awareness. Every breath, every posture, every conversation can become a path back to clarity and compassion. Work itself becomes your teacher when you approach each task with curiosity rather than aversion. As you move forward, carry this integrated mindfulness into every corner of your professional life. Let your presence become a beacon for others. Notice how simple moments of kindness ripple through teams. Observe how clarity of mind births innovative solutions. Allow the gentle power of these practices to transform not only your own experience, but the culture of your workplace. Thank you for dedicating this week to your inner well-being. The practices you have learned are now woven into the fabric of your daily life. Return to them whenever you need grounding or inspiration. In doing so, you will continue to cultivate resilience, creativity, and the boundless peace that arises when work and mindfulness meet as one.